Hello, my name is Tony Towns, and author, Otaku Christian Pizza on the lips. Yeah, I'm glad you don't see my desk. All right, here you go. You see my desk. Here you go. Yeah, well, there you have it. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't doing it just to get attention. It's just one of those things. So anyway, as I take a look at this stuff, like in my book, Dude-44 Bravo, I took the news stories and organized them and made my little commentary about them as to, what happened to that F-15. But in it, I described myself, self-described, a news hound. So I do tend to watch the news. And the news is, it's one of those things that can get you really upset. But me, it doesn't make me upset. And I'll tell you why it doesn't make me upset. No matter what the news is, unless it's bad news for me personally, and I mean really bad news for me personally, i.e., big storm happening in Oklahoma. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And then you wake up and you have no roof. Well, that would be bad news. And that would affect me personally. But some of this news, it could affect us, and maybe it does in some way. But I don't take the news personally. If someone is a candidate, I don't care who he is or who she is, and they say something outlandish, crazy, newsworthy, but crazy. They say something that might get one side upset about the other, et cetera, or vice versa. That doesn't bother me. And why should it? Because I can listen and analyze what the person says. I can take them for whatever, where I can judge what they say, but that doesn't necessarily make me hate them. I guess it's just the way I grew up. You can say hateful things. And the only person that gets upset is me. And when I get upset, that means I'm the one who gets upset. I'm the one who gets gets their peace stolen. Not them. They said the hateful thing, but I'm the one who gets flaming mad and upset. And I got to get on my keyboard and tell the world just how upset I am. And not change a blessed thing. I believe in voting your conscience. I do believe that you should go out and vote. I did. We had our midterms this past Tuesday, and I voted because I believe that every American should, because that's the only true way we do have a voice, regardless of age, race, and color, or disposition, or because of wealth. And many people may have some differences about that process, but we're the only country that openly allows folks to observe the voting process. I sit right next to the guy voting. Man, I'm going to look at his voting sheet. But the point is, I see the process is open. There's no armed guards. I mean, no one's telling me how to vote. People that hand me the ballot, ask me what party I am, hands me the ballot. I show my ID. Let me go ahead and sip a drink real quick. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, so I don't even want to go get into it. So, my point is this. if I want to watch the news, I'm watching the news for information, and I want to be informed, and I want my decisions to be informed. But I'm not going to get mad at you because you think opposite of me. I've had people, I can't believe we're talking about this, and I don't want to get all political. I really don't. I really wanted to start this post to show you that, when I say I'm a news hound, I really am. And I do watch or listen to the news and different news sources. So, and I just don't take any one news source, I'll look here, here, just different news all over the place. And what's my point is I don't take any one source. And it is not productive for me to get so angry simply because you have an opposite point of view. And I can't hate you for your opposite point of view because that is the type of country that we live in. I've heard people say that they will disown their family because of the way they voted. That if you're dating someone of the opposite party, that shouldn't be. You sound like people like they used to sound like when, you can't be black and married to a white woman. That's what it sounds like to me. When I hear that, I see no difference. Well, you don't understand what that person stands for. So if you vote for that person, then you stand for the exact same thing. But I'm not that person. I might be believing his ideas, but I don't believe everything that the person says. I don't worship them. It's my vote, not my idol. You can't vote God in and vote him out. So just because I have a political disposition, that it won't change my Christianity. And then some Christians will tell me, hey, you shouldn't be watching anime. Well, if anybody here knows Tony Towns, they know he's going to be watching some anime. My point is simple. I don't care whether you like anime or not. You're not going to be less my friend or more my friend. Now, well, if you like anime, you might be more. No, seriously. I'm not going to change my outlook to you and change my attitude as a human being because you have a different point of view than me. I work with people that have a different point of view than me. And I've been doing it for 15 years. I've gone through 5 bosses, 6 bosses, 8 bosses, actually more than that. I don't know. So many bosses. NCOSEs and things like that. Each one different, each one having their own set of beliefs, each one believing that this is the way things should be, or this is the way. So, I move the shelf from right to left because that's where they want it. So then another one come in and they move it from left to right because that's the way it is. That's the way they want it. And they're the boss, so I just got to do what they tell me to do. But I'm not treating them any way different, no matter who they are, because I don't like their point of view. I'm sorry I'm laughing, and I understand that opinions do matter. I do understand. A good example is if someone was to ask me, hey, are you going to be like friends with a Klansman? Well, I don't know. Is his friendship with me meaning that I got to go out there and run around with him and burn crosses? Or am I interacting with him as a human being? And if I knew that part of their life, that maybe the best thing I could possibly do in my life is to be the best version of myself. And maybe by him seeing, quote unquote, the God in me, whether you believe God or not, you know what I'm talking about. You can just go ahead and say the humanity in me. That maybe I'm the one who can be the agent of change at that moment in time. And then the last thing I need to do is bring my pride and my disposition, my predilections to the forefront. as if that is going to protect me or change them. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen for anybody that way. You cannot change what people think, especially if you are not willing to listen at all. You're not even willing to sit down with them. You can't even have dinner. You can't be civil for a second because you think that your point of view matters more than the world itself. If your point of view makes up your entire characteristic and you become a bitter and condescending, belittling type of person, it didn't matter what your point of view is, then you become that person that everyone avoids. Why? It ain't because of your point of view. It's how you carry yourself, what you're saying, what you're doing. So I don't want to be accusatory. I really did start. I'm kind of upset at myself because I really started this post to tell you about the fact that I'm news and what kind of news and how I look at the different news and stuff, how I collected the information for Dude-44 Bravo. But it's near and dear to my heart. A lot of people who don't like me, in other words, doesn't like my point of view, but they'll talk to me. And the reason why they'll talk to me, because I let them know my point of view. I am a Christian. So I'm not going to go out drinking with you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. But at the same time, if I willingly say, okay, I'm going to go to this place, it's a party, and I know there's alcohol there, and there's going to be people there. But I'm not going to drink alcohol, but I said that I would go. Maybe I'm going to there to support a person, to say happy birthday to them. I don't know what it is. And everyone's drinking. I'm not going to get up and leave because I willingly went into a place I knew that was going to happen. Now, if I was to ask him and say, hey, I don't want any drinking around me or anything like that, it's okay. Sure, man, come. And all of a sudden he breaks out, hey, man, I thought we talked about this, that type of thing. But rarely does that ever happen. I know where I'm going and I know why I'm going, and I'm there for a reason. I'm not there to cause trouble. I'm not there to upset their meal or upset their birthday party because I have a point of view. I hear someone say something, man, I keep that stuff. They're saying something that is literally racially charged or something, or politically charged. And I go and I have a good time because I realize that their point of view is not my point of view. Why am I going there and taking on to some sort of fake rage over something that I cannot change, and then attacking a person that I expect to change? What? By my force? By my knowledge? By my wisdom? The reason why sometimes I go into a room and people talk to me and they listen to me, because I've done public speaking. I'll sit around a table and every sudden people will focus on me and I'll say something because I say it with kindness. And even if it's something that I know, if I feel it getting racially charged or politically charged, and I use the words because there's no telling what it is, and sometimes it's one and the same. But when it's a sensitive topic, a taboo topic, and it's coming up, and people are getting emotional because they want to be right. In that moment, they want to tell everyone what they feel like. You know what I do? I do retreat because I understand that I'm not there for a competition. And I was there to have dinner. I was there to do that. And so I let them have their moment. Let them go. If they get taught by the host, if I'm the host, that's different. But if I'm one of the guests, why should I go ahead and pretend like all of a sudden I run the show? Why were you invited? Why are you going there? Are you going there for a date with a guy? Or are you going there to tell him that he needs to quit eating meat and save the animals? And if he doesn't do that, you're going to get up and leave. So that might be fine because that's your point of view and that's the way you really feel and you feel strongly about this. But what did you go there for? Why are you there? Well, we forget that when I go to church, I'm there to listen to the minister, to listen to the pastor, to listen to the message, to listen to the words. I'm not there to see what anyone's got on. I'm not there to judge any sister or brother. I'm not there to look at the guy who might be struggling with drug addiction, come in as close as this shovel and look at him. And I'm going to stop listening to the message and I'm looking at this guy. And I'm not looking at him because I feel unsafe. No. I'm looking at him saying, what in the world he's doing here? Look what he's got on. How could he come here? What am I there for? I'm not talking about hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is a different subject. And one day maybe we'll talk about those things. But I'm simply saying is, why are we where we are? We are at places where we choose to be. And when we choose to be at that place, that means that we are not in control over anything. If I go to my job, I choose to be there. Yeah, I'm hired, but I do choose to get up in the morning, take a shower, whatever, and go there and work. So I'm there to work. I'm not there to get into a politically charged. If they ask me, I'll answer and we'll talk about it. But if I feel like it's getting like, whoa, it's turning left, I shut it off. I don't shut it down. I shut it off. And I lead by example. If I want their behavior to change, I have to show the best version of me at that moment in time. I don't care what I believe, because God himself is only going to hold me responsible for what I know. He's not going to hold me responsible for whether or not I know who voted for what. He's not going to hold me responsible. He doesn't care. I'm sorry. God does not care about your political affiliation. He says, do you know my son, Jesus Christ? What have you done with that truth? What is the example that Christ set? I'm not talking about no feel-good gospel either, because I know I live in a real world. Everything doesn't come up puppy dogs and rainbows because we think that we're in the right. I'm just telling you that you're right. And I'll go ahead and I'll interpret the scripture for you. Our righteousness, our rightness, our right only matters in the righteousness of Christ. Our rightness is as filthy rags according to the Bible, if you believe that. You don't have to believe that. I'll put it to you like this. Your rightness doesn't mean anything to anybody else but you. That's real. Bible notwithstanding. You can be, as we say, they can be as wrong as rainwater in the living room, and you can be as right as rice. But I can tell you this right now. It don't matter if your rightness belittles people, make them feel like they're nothing, and you get on your high horse and you try to tell everyone what you think and how right you are. I just see a lot of damage being done online by people, and they always try to put themselves off as nice people. And there's not a nice bone in their body. They wouldn't know how to be generous and genuine if you paid them, because they forgot that they're talking to people and they think the only thing that matters is what they think. I don't mean to be like aggressive and try to put up the whole idea like I'm right. That is just your opinion. You're 100% correct. It is my opinion. I've just seen the results. When your opinion brings forth strife, when your opinion brings forth discouragement, when your opinion doesn't lift somebody up, when your opinion doesn't reach out with compassion, maybe you need to change your opinion. I'm not saying that we can't be adversarial, passionate, understanding that there are places and time for those things. If I was to get up and have a debate, my opinion matters. I'm there to debate. I'm there to tear down your idea and show you why mine is better. But I also learned in the art of debate that you have to listen. And if you're not listening to anybody else but your own voice, you're not a debater. You're not smart. I don't care how much education. If you cannot listen to somebody else without opening your dumb mouth, then you are unintelligent because you lack the wisdom to shut your mouth and listen. The reason why folks talk to me because they know one thing about Tony Towns: I can be taught. I remain teachable to my core. I can get told by the most racist, bigoted person on the face of the planet, and I listen and I hear, and if they tell me the truth, and truth always goes above opinion. When I hear the truth, I'm going to learn that truth from that person. I consider the source, but when it's truth, it's truth. And you can't get around it. I don't care what he believes in. I don't care what his political party is. I don't care if he's gay or straight. If it's true, it's true. And I would be a fool. I would be a fool if I didn't listen to truth. How can I hear the word of God? How can I hear God if I'm not willing to listen for truth through his very creation? I'm not saying we do it all right. I'm not saying it's all perfect. I'm just simply saying, why am I there? Why do I have to listen? I can choose not to. But I'm on a planet with 8 billion plus people. They all got lives. They all have their religions or non-religions. They have families. They got a life. They're people. Maybe if some of these people saw me, they'll kill me on sight because that's what their religions and beliefs tells them they should do for someone of my ilk. But I don't know that. So the best thing I can do is be the best version of myself every time I meet someone, talk to someone. I might think I have all the knowledge in the world. But you know what I really, truly want? When I say this at the end of my videos, and I'll just end it here. When I say it, it's God that blesses. That means I can't bless you. I say bless you, but I'm really truly mean that by the power of God, according to his will and purpose, let him bless you. So this is the reason why I say it is God that bless. And I, personally, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of who you are, wish you all the success. Because through success, your personal success, you become a light to other people. And you can show them the best version of yourself. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.